Let's talk about, hi, my name's Nick. Let's recap what we did last time. We know that the flex component structure now is really based off of the flex-fig.json file. It defines all the component structure. It defines what your front-end users are going to select. That's where you're going to be adding your things for even the inspector. When you click the inspector, those type of settings are all going to be within your flex.json. Your init is going to be loaded one time only, and your instance is loaded every time the flex component is added to the page. That's where all of your templating, what's being rendered for the front-end user to see. You can have CSS, JavaScript assigned to it. You can actually have an image assigned to it as well, but it's just like a preview image type thing. You package it all up in a tar.bz2 file, and then it can be uploaded. We went through all of that in the first one, where we made our basic component, and it was just a text box. This time around, we are going to expand that component a little bit. We are going to add a new property called the product type, where it will allow you to select a product. We'll go in and we'll allow you to disable it. We'll add it to a group so that you have the ability to turn on and go. We will also add a cart button that will add to a group and allow you to turn it off, turn it on, and allow you to change the button text as well. We'll add the default values for that, and then we'll add a little bit of template code for that to show you kind of how it all works. So this just goes to show you that you can extend it even at the basic template level. You still don't need any of those HTML web component frameworks or anything like that, but if that's something that you're interested in, at the end of this month, the Monday, March 31st, I think, there will be a webinar that discusses that and shows you how to integrate with MMX. Flex component with MMX. So if you need more information from that, reach out to me and I'll get you signed up. Okay, let's go not to that. Back. Right, we're going to get to that anyways. Let us start our demo here. Come on. So this is where we left off before. Pardon my nose, very stuffy. My allergies are kicked in. You can see last time we just had some simple CSS. Our JavaScript was just a console log. It was nothing real fancy. And then we had our templates. We had our init template that was pulling in our JavaScript and our CSS resources that we created and linked up within our flex.json, which I'll show you in a second. And then this is our instance. Our instance is just super simple. We had since we had a text, we were just showing the value, and then I was just kind of showing some of the settings that were within this as well. So, excuse me. Let's add to it. The first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to add to our flex.json, right? If we want to add a product selector, we have to just add that property type. So if we go back to our flex.json file, and under the properties here, here's our one for our text. We can go ahead and add a comma. So now we have our product. Our code is product for this one, and our type is product. This could be anything, right? Like this could be product selector, this could be product, whatever you want it to be. It does have to be unique based off of what's in here because you can't have multiple codes of the same. But it is a product type, and the prompt will be select a product. One more thing we will do is we will add our defaults. So next, we'll extend it. I was going to do this first and then add that cart button, but we're just going to do the whole kit caboodle. So I'm going to show you that part looks like. So we got another property here. This property is a little bit more detailed, as you can see. Like there are a number of settings that can be used in flex.json, and once again, they're all in docs, in developer docs, where you can go in there and you can look to see what these properties are, what these properties do. There's a property called canDisable, and if it is set to 1, it will show you a toggle switch that you can show whatever it is or not show whatever it is, right? And so I added my add to cart button, so I have a type of group where I have properties within that. So now it will expand and it will allow me to to add the update any properties inside that flex component. And I have just a simple one, a text one again, with a new code this time called button text, because it's going to show, it's going to tell us whatever we want to put on that add cart button. Now I have the ability for my user to go in and add some text on the page dynamically, go select the product, and that product will load on the page, and it will have an add cart button. They have those options, so I have to actually make that work in my instance template now. Let's actually, before we go to the instance template, let's do one more thing. Let's add our defaults. So we already have a default, or yeah, maybe that I think to do it. This is my button code, or this is my button, right here. This is my button code, and so my button code, and then I have my button text, which is my code for my text type here. So here's my code for my button text, and so I have a value which I want to be add cart by default. I want it to be enabled by default. And this is just what we had before as far as our default goes. So the only thing I really added was the defaults for the button and the enablement and the button text. Now that my flex.json is saved, let's do our template code. I'm going to start off, actually I'll just paste it on there and then I'll explain. So we don't really need to change anything else. I mean, unless I want to go add styling for my CSS or add some more JavaScript for this functionality to work. At the end of the day, I just need to add some code that pulls in this data and renders it on the page so the customers can see it. So we added we added the ability to choose a product, and then we added the ability to enable a button, right? The wrong one. So let's first do the product part. So we go to our instance template. This is what we have right now. By default, I'm just going to leave that there. And right underneath it, I'm going to put this code. Let me make it smaller. All right, so I have a pretty simple if statement. If you are using the Miva IDE for VS Code, you'll notice that you can do this stuff with snippets. So if I do np if and then enter, it already does it all for me. So if you're using VS Code or if you have an editor, I would definitely, if you have an editor of choice and it's VS Code, download the Miva IDE to help you complete your Miva syntax quicker. I have an if statement in here. I have my instance structure and then my product code, and then this is the output that comes out of it. This is the product. So I know this is twice, but this is not going to change. This is what Miva outputs as the final entity. This is the code. This is the code that I signified in my flex.json. So if I come up here to here, if I change this right here to select product or product selector, I would need to change this to select product or product selector. This would always remain product. Right, so right now, this if statement is just checking to see if there has been a product added using the selector. If it is, then I want you to run the code. I have an if statement in here that's pulling in the main image, mine is number 1, and an npt do that is loading that image in here. I have a div, simple class on there, nothing crazy, but here's my instance product, and this is my product name, my product price. I have all my normal product data that you would have. Like, you don't have custom field data, you have to pull that kind of stuff in using template code, but you have your normal data. So I've got my product in there. Now I can, now when my user goes and selects the product, it will appear with the name and the image and the price all stacked up on top of each other. Now to add the add cart. We've already added properties to it. Now let's go ahead and let's add to our instance template. I'm going to put it within my my product one because I really don't want it to show up unless they selected a product as well. So I'm just going to paste it right here. I have OCD, so I'm going to make sure to add this. Everyone should be OCD when it comes to that. it's really bothering me that I don't have any comments on here either, but in lieu of time, I'm not going to comment. I have an explaining here that, once again, here's my instance structure. Everything's going to have an start with the instance structure, and then you're going to go on from there. And this is my button code. And since it is a setting of an enablement, the settings is going to be the final one, the entity. And then you can say enabled equals 1. So if that is enabled, we're going to show this form. And this is just a simple form that we have on our product page, right? We're submitting to the basket page. We're passing the action of ADPR. We're passing the instance, product, and product code that is selected with the product selector, so we know that it's dynamic. So if they change the product, then a new product can be added, not the static one. And we're just forcing the quantity of 1. And this is the value that they're putting for the button text right here. So we save all this, and we'll go to our store. I've already packaged it up. We know how we package it up. I think I did that in my. I didn't. We talked about that last time. In order to package things up, you have to tar bc2 zip everything into one folder, and then into one package, and then you can package it up into the Flex components. So let's go to Flex component, and I'm looking at it, not you guys. Let's move this here. And we'll do our Flex components. I'm going to upload my components, select my package, and we're going to go session 2. Basic component. Good there. Load. So it has been added to the bottom down here, example basic component. And now if we go to content management, we will go to the contact us page just because. Basic, and now you can see that I've done all my stuff. I'm going to get out of here real quick. I'm going to move to the top so we can keep it while I'm updating it. So we've already got our default text in there. You can see that I've got no product or anything like that. Even if I go and I select my product, go to the toilet. It's always a good one. There's my toilet. It shows up. My add cart button is already there. I have it enabled. I go and uncheck it. It disappears. Let's click it and see if it works. And it worked. So it's a Flex component. I've mentioned this many times. It can be as simple as just a little bit of HTML, some Miva template language in order to pull in those variables and entities, or it can be as extravagant as our MMX framework. You can even build your own framework. There's frameworks out there. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of lit.dev. It is a HTML web component framework, and that's essentially what we built our framework off of. Right, like they're very similar models where you can reuse these components, and then there's this base source that you can use for things like validation and standardization, things like that of the data.